Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. A little bit of news coming out here with pre-market data, and seeing a little bit of a push lower on that news, but still inside day right now. Still a narrow range day of just 28% of ADR, 18.75 points of range, and growing. Now 21. You can see again a few days here of very, very quiet price action overall as the market awaits the Fed tomorrow. Fed Wednesday is upon us. FOMC meetings and the statement and rate decision with the press conference to follow. Wednesday afternoon likely to be a high range afternoon, along with Thursday and into Friday with Friday's NFP report. We do flip the page here from April to May starting tomorrow, and that's going to give us a new set of pivots to work with as well. So right now the expectation here is that we likely stay mostly within a 3-day narrow range. And if we test one of the edges here, it could bounce back up. If it tests the upper edge, it drops back down, and we could be mostly range bound. Now, we do have some earnings that could impact price here over the course of the day, especially this afternoon, with earnings coming out later this afternoon. But for the most part, range bound price action for this market as it awaits the Fed tomorrow. So again, we could be looking at fading the edges as this market closes near the center of the current month's range. We take a look here at the NQ, very similar price action here with mostly range-bound price action as well. We do have some tech coming up after the close here. Amazon, AMD, Super Microcomputer, Riot, blockchain, all coming out here after the market closes here today, so that could impact the late day action here in the NQ. But again, for the most part, likely to see price stay within this 3-day narrow range here as the market awaits the Fed. Now again, this market is closing or very close to closing the day right at the center of the month's range. Heavy selling pressure from the first trading day of the month. Big time downtrending price action here to these lows of 17,113s. Then it bounced back, and then this right here is the midpoint. So it's right at the center of that range here, and that could open up an early move to one of the extremes right out of the gate, which means as we turn the page to May, we could be looking at a quick move that takes us up to the previous highs and then perhaps back down, or we could be looking at a move that takes us right to the previous lows here, and then we come and return back to the middle. So again, there could be an early move to one of the edges here to begin the new month. If we take a look here at crude oil, crude right now up about 0.5% at the moment. Again, as we've noted before, this thing has been very slow to get going to the upside. You can kind of see the compression that is developed with a slight modest upward bias, a little bit of a failed new low developing here today, but for the most part this thing has hugged the flat line all month long. That's the previous month's high and close, and this is the current last price right on top of that level. So we have mostly seen sideways price action, a little bit up then back down, a little bit sideways. Now again, from an intraday perspective here, we are seeing a little bit of a failed new low and a reaction at the previous session's lows with a pretty decent little bounce. But we are stuck around this previous close here, and this market just, again, doesn't have the sense of urgency to really get going to the upside just yet. At some point here, we could begin to see this market make a move, and it likely happens through the previous month's midpoint, which is this month's midpoint, but next month it'll be the 84 level, 84 and change. Let's see the exact level, 84.19. That's going to be the level here to watch, that if we break through this level early next month, it opens the door to new highs up ahead. Alright, let's take a look here at gold futures. Gold seeing a little bit of weakness right now, down 1.7% at the moment. It is still inside of a developing narrow range. You can see how much compression we've had over the last 6 trading sessions here, that compression right there has the energy of about 100 points of range, up maybe upwards of 120 points of range. And if this market breaks through these highs, it could open up a new high up ahead. A failure here, and you start to work your way downward into the LVN below. That LVN below is right around that 22.25 level. But as I've noted before, this market is very, very bullish overall. Super unidirectional. It hasn't really given up much altitude here, and continues to hold above key levels, including the 2280 level. At some point here, we could be looking at an upside breakout that takes us to the high. Again, if you fail through, might as well be this 2300 level. That will start to open up perhaps a little bit more pullback up ahead. But as of right now, still inside a 6-day developing narrow range. That gives us north of 100 points of a breakout opportunity here pretty soon. Lastly, looking at the YM. The YM right now showing a little bit of weakness here, again on that pre-market data. A little bit of a drop here. The YM is showing mostly inside range price action to that big Thursday range. That huge Thursday range, once it developed, we were likely going to see inside price action on Friday. We did. We saw pretty much inside to that on Monday yesterday, and here we are. Similar type of price action here again today. Again, with Amazon earnings after the bell here today, this could affect the Dow here late in the session, with Amazon being a component of the Dow. Overall, this market has a bit more weakness than some of the others that we've seen, but has also seen one of the better bounces and rallies than what we've seen, although it is below the previous or the current month's midpoint here. So again, building some energy right now, but mostly 3-day narrow range, and that's likely going to continue to persist here. Is a 3-day narrow range across the board for the equity futures. Eventually we could be looking at a pretty significant breakout move here heading into Wednesday's Fed. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out here heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.